The history of the Cambodian Genocide is a long and complicated one that requires several explanations, like how did Pol Pot take power, what is the Khmer Rouge, and why did a quarter of Cambodia's population have to die in the late 1970s. Pol Pot began his interest in communism when he attended school in Paris in the 1940s and joined the French Communist Party and quickly developed Marxist left-leaning ideas. Pol Pot eventually led a group of guerrilla warfare militia through the jungle in Cambodia to overthrow the government that was backed by the United States. Pol Pot called his band of the militia the Khmer Rouge. Once Pot had taken over the nation of Cambodia with this militia force, he transformed it into what he called Democratic Kampuchea, an idea for an agrarian socialist society. This society, though, has to be perfect in the mind of Pol Pot, and it has to be a perfect example of Marxist social teachings brought to life. This is where the genocide starts, because you can't have a perfect society without physically making a perfect group of individuals, as we will soon see. Pol Pot's militia, the Khmer Rouge, started rounding up, quote, enemies of the idea to an agrarian socialist state in Cambodia. And so the militia forces emptied the cities systematically and forced nearly all of Cambodia's population to relocate to forced labor camps. Pol Pot was heavily influenced by Communist China at this point and wanted to try what they had called the Great Leap Forward, which had killed tens of millions of Chinese citizens. But he wanted to try it here in Cambodia. By January 1979, nearly 1.5 to 2 million people had died as a result of these socialist and communist policies. Most of the murders happened in what's called the killing fields, where thousands of people were killed a day with pickaxes, so bullets didn't have to be wasted. By 2009, the global community had found nearly 23,745 of these mass graves. The Cambodian Genocide is regarded as one of the most brutal and violent genocides in the history of our world.
One key question when looking at the catastrophic events during the 1970s in Cambodia is whether or not it was indeed a genocide. A seemingly obvious question has sparked a fair amount of debate for one key reason. This reason is brought up by historian David Chandler, who makes sure one isn't too quick to call the horribleness a genocide, in order to avoid the parallels of what Hitler did in Germany during World War II. The beliefs of Chandler and others are that the killings by Pol Pot were merely a matter of circumstance, clearly a horrible circumstance, but still a circumstance, rather than a targeted killing of certain groups of people. They say that the reason for the killings was the newly formed, vengeful peasant army that came to power when Pol Pot took over power in Cambodia. This argument, however, is rather weak because the vast majority of people that were killed during the horrible times in Cambodia were those that were proclaimed inferior by Pol Pot and henceforth were forced to die. And because of this, the United Nations has officially declared the horrors that the Khmer Rouge impacted on so many people a genocide.